So now going into, as my podcast has expanded, where are we at? Well, I took almost a whole month off of my podcast, which is not good. I needed it for myself. Life was happening, life was lifing. I got sick, things happened, and I will always put my family over this. I don't want that to sound bad, but it's true. I will always put my family over this podcast because for me, this is just a hobby. If I get 1,000 subscribers or 10,000 subscribers or like make it big and get 100,000 subscribers, then I do. And that's amazing. I'm so grateful, and I'll be so like grateful for it and thankful that it's taking off. Now, is that the end goal? It is not the end goal for me. It's not a make it or break it. I still have my little 9 to 5 that's really 7 a.m. to whenever Uncle Sam wants me to go home time frame, which is okay. But this is like a hobby base for me. So with that being said, like taking time off does hinder. So always post consistently and you'll grow. You'll get out there. You'll eventually make it. And I know this from just social media that I post on like regular TikTok and Instagram, like the thousands of followers I have made on TikTok from just consistently posting content. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys on how to start a podcast. It's a long video. Skip through it if you need to. I will try to break this out in sections as best as my editing abilities allow me to, and we'll get there together. This is going to be posted on both my podcast YouTube and both on my personal YouTube. So give me a subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, repost, because this is going to be posted on multiple platforms like Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Lemonade, Apple Podcasts. So anything that there is, it's going to be posted out too. So please share out my content. Let me know if you have any more questions. Feel free to message me. I don't have a message limit as of right now. So yeah, thank you for the tuning in, and I'm looking forward to dropping my next episode and seeing you guys in my views. Now, when it comes to purchasing the LLC or getting the LLC, sometimes a lot goes into it, depending on the state you're applying for. So, for an LLC for me, because I am in the state of California, even though I'm not a California resident because I'm in the military, the LLC is for the state of California. On top of this, I have to have a business address that is not my home address in the state of California. So I did have to go purchase the studio address too. A lot of places will have them. It's pretty simple. You can Google that part. If you have any questions, just let me know. But then you have to also register it with the county. So I'm in San Diego County. Then I also had to register it for the city that I like, the specific city I live in San Diego County. I'm not disclosing that part of the information though. You feel me? We're not going to get that personal with it. But for the state of California, that's how I had to do it. So shout out to Zen Business for helping me out here because I didn't know what I was doing. But Zen Business will walk you step by step on how to do it. And it will also tell you if you're doing everything right. When stuff gets approved, when you get your EIN, which is what you need to open up your business checking account, which I highly suggest doing this. So every purchase you make can be written off on taxes for your business. If you feel me, you'll know what I'm talking about because when you grow, it can get kind of expensive. But also, if you start making money off of it, you're going to want your money to deposit into that checking account specifically. And this is just so the government, when you go and do your taxes every single year, knows how much money you made and that you're being truthful about how much you made. So going and talking into the LLC. More besides just applying for it. My reasoning behind getting it is because I knew I was going to talk about, I don't want to say sensitive topics, but sensitive topics to some. I knew there was going to be people who would take offense to some of the topics I was talking about. I knew I was going to be talking about politics. I was going to be talking about true crime. I knew I was going to be talking about like court cases that are currently happening. I knew I was going to be talking about just different stuff in the world and how different countries, like, how they are as countries compared to, like, where I'm at in the United States, like, just stuff like that. So it was more protection for myself, especially if I start, like, name dropping people, so I can't really get, like, sued personally for defamation of character of that person. Now, there is also kind of a caveat to that, though, because if they sue my podcast, they're suing my business, if that makes sense, for, like, the defamation. But if I directly kind of go after somebody and I'm directly targeting them and I know I'm intentionally doing it and, like, there's no, like, facts behind of, like, what I'm saying, like, there's no, like, resources to be like, oh, this is what I saw on this website about this person, so this is what I'm discussing, and it's just me, like, turning around being like, no, this person, da like, I just keep going on a rant, you can still get sued for defamation. So they can still bypass your LLC. The LLC is just cushion there. So it is very kind of, like, picky, because they could still sue me directly under certain circumstances. And this is something that you need to know. This is something that if you're going to talk about true crime and make your podcast strictly about true crime or politics, get an LLC. Just get it. You will hear other podcasters be like, no, like, you don't need it. And you're going to hear older podcasters who are going to say the same thing. Get that LLC if you're going to be talking about true crime. So this way, if you accidentally state misinformation, you at least have a resource and can be like, hey, this is a resource I have. This is where I got it from. This is all the information that I have from it. XYZ, like, I'm not coming up with it in my own mind to talk about this person and say these things about them. Like, it was already there. Make sense? I hope this is making sense. If it's not, please comment and I'll do videos breaking it down even further. Now, with this information too, as I always say, like, or I have been saying, I have recorded off my phone, even though I do have a camera. I have older iPhones too that I can use to, like, save my videos and my recordings on. I would suggest doing that if you have another phone. Just clear everything off of it once you save everything to, like, a trusted laptop or your other phone. Clear everything off of it. Just save on top of it. Don't go out big and don't go buy new cameras and stuff and go out, like, right out the gate huge, unless you can afford it. At the time, I could afford it, but I was like, this is going to be a hobby. It's not going to be, like, I don't know. Like, to me, this is just a hobby. I'm not doing this to become famous, if that makes sense. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I enjoy talking. I enjoy talking about things. I enjoy trying to relate to people. And I enjoy, like, this may sound, I don't know if it sounds bad, but, like, reading people's comments, whether they're, like, good, bad, ugly, like, whatever they are, I like reading them. And because of that, it's just more of, like, it shows me other people's perspective. Do I get annoyed with some of the comments? I get annoyed with hate comments all the time. Because I'm like, dude, like, if my content's not for you, just scroll past it. If you're going to take offense to the content I post, scroll past it. Like, if you're going to take offense to it, or you're like, oh, this hits me too this way, or I feel like you're, like, this way, I'm kind of like, that's some reflection you need to do on yourself. But anywho, start off with whatever you can start off with. So, how I first started off, and I'm going to insert this in the video. I came up with a name, okay? For me, I always used to say what the helly. Like, what the helly was my thing to say. And I was like, I want to have, like, a what the hell or what the helly podcast name. Couldn't use it. Name was already taken, or it was either trademarked. I forget what it was, but couldn't use it. Cool. What up is what I also was in the works for. Couldn't use it either. But What Up Dude was not taken. So we used What Up Dude podcast. It's an LLC. It's also trademarked. My slogan ended up being "It's your girl," since I am the host and I identify as a female, because I am a female. So that's how I came up with my slogan. Don't overthink this step. Just whatever pings off your head, choose it. pick it, you can change it over time. You can rebrand yourself and rechange. I rebranded myself from what my subtopics were going to be talked about. Originally, I had like what it was like to be a mother, what it was like to be postpartum, what it was like to like breastfeed, and just things like that. And it was very centered just around motherhood, and then it was like anything under the sun. So it could be like your unhinged stuff, like anything and everything could be talked about. And for me, I was like, all right, let's start off with this. Then it kind of came to a sense where I was like, that's just not me. Like, I don't want my podcast to be only about motherhood and parenthood and having a child, because for me, like, yeah, that's relatable to me, but I felt like I was losing myself in parenthood and motherhood, and just like, in a sense, like in a way, just drowning. Okay, so that is how I come up with my rebranding. So I kept my name, What Up Dude Podcast, but then ended up changing my topics to being like parenthood / motherhood. So I have incorporated fathers and like multiple mothers, multiple fathers, relationships, everything into that section. Anything about being a parent is going to be discussed in that section, because to me that just makes more sense than having parenthood be spread across multiple sections. I love sports is my next section. So sports is another subsection that I have, or something that I discuss on the podcast. The reason for this is I love football, I love soccer, I love track and field and swimming. I'm a sports person. I've been to a set of the Olympic Games. I've been to multiple like pro basketball, football games, like baseball games, like major games. And then I've been to playoff games, I've been to college games, even like just Division I high school, like national games. So yeah, so for me, sports just resonated more for it. Now my next one is unhinged. So anything and everything can be talked about in this section. This could be anything from true crime. And this is where I said the LLC, depending on what you talk about, comes in handy, especially for true crime or anything political or anything of you talking about somebody else. So this way you're protected and they can't go after you for your personal assets to an extent now, but they can't go over, like, they can't sue you for your personal assets. They can only sue you for what your company has. This is why I got an LLC. We'll discuss more about that here in a few minutes, or in a few clips from now. But that is my topic, like my subtopics for my podcast. With this being said, finding a good platform to use when merging stuff together is important. Now, if you have an iPhone, you can use iMovie, is what I believe it's called. Take multiple small clips, put them in there, cool. You can edit them in there. Don't overthink your editing at the beginning. It's keen, but also at the same time, like, your videos that are like highly edited could just get less views also too. Like for me, a lot of my voice memo ones like have hundreds of views on Facebook, which I never thought it would get like that. So it's just kind of like feel it out of what your people want, your target audience wants. With this, there is also other video editing spots you can go. Do it you're comfortable editing on. For me, it was iMovie. And honestly, TikTok. That sounds crazy, but you can do editing on TikTok and actually save it without your watermark. When you're running a risk with that though, because if you do post it onto your TikTok and you saved it without a watermark, when people save it off of your TikTok, it doesn't save with your TikTok watermark. So my suggestion to you is make those videos like savable and undoable, so just people can't just take them from you, if that makes sense. So going on with this though, if you're going to use voice memo like I did, I suggest you getting a voice merging app. I will post the one that I use in here. I didn't know this when I first started. Like my very, very first clips, it took me so long to edit them because my impression was I could use voice memo on my iPhone and just merge all of them together like you can in kind of like iMovie. Not the case at all. So I had to download a merging app. I think I paid like $5 or $6 for it, and it's just a one-time payment. You don't pay like as you use. There's no in-app purchases, so once you have it, you kind of have it, if that makes sense. So I did end up getting one of those, was able to merge my clips together. You can listen to them, and the cool thing is you can also save it as a file to your MacBook or your laptop, to your phone. You can also save it onto that app and back onto the Memo app as just one big recording. So with this being said though, if you take huge pauses inside of like the video, like inside the voice when you're talking inside the voice memo, it is noticeable. So my suggestion for you is to just break down like that one singular voice memo and edit it before you merge all of them together, so you're not going through like 20 minutes or 30 minutes or even just starting off like 10 or 15 minutes of just you talking, because you're going to miss things the more and more you keep hearing yourself talk. At least for me, I started missing stuff because I was like, oh, I already know I said this, or oh, I've heard this like 10 times already, and I was just getting tired of like rehearing it all the time, if that makes sense. So with this being said, the stuff that I had used right off the bat were clip-on microphones. I have since upgraded to this microphone, and I actually have 4 of these microphones because I do have episodes where I'm going to have multiple people on it, if that makes sense. So more microphones. I also have a drive for it to everything connect to. I use my laptop more. I still record off my phone, even though I have a camera for it now, but I just record off my phone. Found perfect settings that just don't make it look gloomy, don't make it look like a regular iPhone kind of recording system. I've also invested into a ring light and obviously merchandise on top of an LLC. Now I'm going to explain this LLC part here in a second because it is critical sometimes for the topics that you're going to be covering, and it's more just to save yourself and just your name in general, rather than like your own personal name on top of whatever your podcast name is. I also trademarked my name for my podcast so somebody else can't just go and use it. We'll get more into that, but let's start off with the basics. So starting off, all you need is a microphone, social media platforms, your phone, and a notebook. You really don't need that much to start. And this is something that a lot of people don't discuss, and that's something that really does need to be discussed. Like, you don't need to go out and buy merchandise or go buy an LLC or get a laptop or get all of these like ring lights and stuff like that, or a camera, or like all these editing apps or fancier microphones. You don't need that straight off the bat. I am fortunate where I have grown not only my podcast, but I have also grown my social media database and just like my platforms and who I am as like just being me outside of the podcast. So with that being said, I have been able to afford to upgrade to better quality things. If you know, you know, because my first few episodes on YouTube were just like voice memo episodes, and it was just not good. And the microphones were bad. When I first got into TikTok and started doing it, not full time, because I still work full time. I'm still active duty military, still carry on with school and a social life and stuff like that. But the first microphones I got made me sound like I was in a submarine. It was just not a good look. It was not a good feel. People were commenting on my videos, and more it got posted out. So quality will come over time, okay? Just get what you can get what you can afford, and just take off. If you love talking, because I do, and everybody who knows me knows that, but if you love talking, doing a podcast is probably for you. And you don't have to be amazing at talking. You're going to learn the skills over time. And yeah, like you're going to come up with the topics, you're going to come up with the subjects, you're going to come up with yourself as a host, you're going to come up with a co-host. Like, you're going to find people, but you just need to get out there and put yourself out there at the end of the day. So welcome back to another episode of What Up Dude Podcast. It's your girl, which is our little slogan. I'm your host. Many of you know, but my name is Sienna. So today is not going to be like a normal podcast episode. More will be given out. Don't worry. I just got over being sick for like 3 straight weeks. 2 weeks of the sickness. I had problems with my voice. I lost my voice for like 3 days. Did not sound good. Got sick for 2 weeks. Went back to work. Came back. Got sick again. But anywho, we're back. So that's all that matters right now. But today is going to be a how to start a podcast from somebody who has started one and has been in the making since about January, February of this year to now, and how it has gone and how it is going and all the upgrades that have been done. And yeah,